When you're a guy in this position, you have no control over your life at all. You know, from an early age, you have to go to a school. You have to go here. You got to go there. Your parents tell you what to do. Then you finally get 18 years old, and then society tells you what to do because you need money to thrive. So you're going to have to find a 9 to 5. You're going to have to listen to what people at that job tell you. You're going to have to deal with the coworkers. You're going to have to deal with everything except what you want to do with your life. Not everybody's meant to be a wage cuck. Let's be real. Some people actually have dreams and destinies that they want to achieve. But this world reinforces servitude. It reinforces you having to bow to somebody else and give your power, give your own independence, something that makes you, makes you unique. If this world forces you to bow down to other people. And I always thought that wasn't right. How can we really have free will when we really can't do what we want in this world where our quote unquote free will is dictated by others? You know, if you're still living with your parents, you got to respect their rules and regulations, walking on eggshells all the time, especially if you don't have a job. And especially if you're of that age where you should have moved out and had a car and had a girl and a wife. No one's going to have any sympathy or empathy or compassion for you. People are going to go and attack you. People are going to, despise you when you're a rejected man. When you're an excess man, an excess male, the world looks at you like you're the criminal and the world penalizes you. They don't look at what you've been through in this world. They don't give a fuck. They can care less. And that's one of the most brutal things about this reality is that no one really gives a damn about you. There's no God, there's no religion, there's none of that. All there is more pain, more oppression, more depression, and more stressing. I absolutely despise this world. Ever since you were young, man, you were forced to go to a place that you didn't want to go. And it trains your mind so when you become an adult, you're forced to go to a place that you don't want to go, interact with people that you don't want to interact with, and they don't want to interact with you either. Your coworkers can be some of the most despicable people that you're forced to be around. And hell, you may have family members and people around you that you're forced to live with that are just despicable as well. They judge you, they talk about you, they don't like you, but they never come say it to your face, a lot of times. Or sometimes if they do say it to your face, it's even more brutal. It's just a weird power dynamic. Like, what is this world? Like, where do we find ourselves in this weird dimension where we're forced to do things that we don't want? And it just seemed as normal. It seems like, oh, that's just life. Life is not, life is quote unquote what you make it. No, it's not. Life is opportunity. Life is who you know, not what you know. Life is having an attractive face. That's life. Life ain't what you make it. If you're a 5'4" guy, you're 35 years old or 40 years old, and you're a virgin still, you never had a girlfriend. Life is not just what you freaking make it, man. Because you gotta understand the mental dilemma that person faced ever since they were young, that put their mind in a prison, and your mind being in a prison. And then not having the looks and not having the freaking, people around you to guide you and to nourish your talents and your attributes, that's going to lead to you having a fucked up life. There's a reason why certain people are called quote unquote incels or losers. Some of these men deserve it, Some of these men absolutely deserve their position, but not everybody deserves it. But in this world, as a lonely man, you don't have no power over your life. What power do you have besides waking up every day and going to work? That's your power. Waking up, going to a 9 to 5 just to pay bills to, people who you'll never see and never meet. And even if you do see them or meet them, they're going to be the most evil, disgusting people you ever can imagine. That's life. That's the world of today. This world is not a fair world. There's certain people that never worked a day in their life. Never. And they're multimillionaires. And there's people that worked every single day ever since they were like 15. Hell, some of them were 10 years old, 9 years old, 7 years old, working. And they're still not millionaires. And they'll never be. And they continue to pray. They continue to have faith and have belief. It's just weird. It's like, why be created in a world where you can't really enjoy it? You have some of the most beautiful women. Yet you can never put your hands on them. Yet you can never touch them. You can never kiss them. You can never hug them. You can never go out to dinner with them. And people say, just go get an escort. Yes, an escort is fine for sexual alleviation, but also there's emotional alleviation as well. After the sex is done, after you committed the deed and done the act, you want to cuddle, you want to hug, you want to talk. Hell, you might want to chill and play some Fortnite, play some video games, hell, play some Final Fantasy. You want to just chill out with that girl, smoke a little blunt with her, have a little drink with her and just talk and, talk about her, about intellectual subjects, intellectual things, right? It's not all about sex, because after you have the sex, what's next, right? especially if you're a guy that's been devoid of emotional needs and devoid of touch. You know, after you've done the deed, you wanna cuddle. You wanna look into her eyes. I know it sounds just lovey dovey, but hell, that's what men need. We're social creatures. We're humans. We're not some robot autonomous animals. Even though the world treats us like that, even though the world doesn't like lonely men, but we don't have any power. It's not like we can make a military like the Third Reich and start taking over the world, and you know what I mean, and just making some type of military regime and start just taking things by force and making the world bend to our will. We don't have any power. Most of us, we work low end jobs, dead end jobs. We may, just things that is not going to really empower you. Most of us will never live our dreams, never have our ambitions met, even if we have the talent, even if we have the attributes to make some of this stuff actual reality. We just don't have the connections, we don't have the perfections, and we don't have the selections that other people do. Certain people truly are lucky in this world, and they get to live the life that we can only dream and only imagine. Meanwhile, the rest of us, we're just stuck. We're just screwed. This is not the way life is supposed to be, man, where you feel powerless. You're always, and the messed up thing about it is that the people that have power over you are always assholes, are always abusing their power over you. It's not like people who have power over you are good people. It's people that are just, they're stupid, they're ignorant, they're evil, they're psychotic, they're diabolic. And these are the same people that have absolute power over you, you know? They can throw you out at any moment. They can fire you at any moment. They can talk to you anyway. And they try to cause things with you. And they dare you to do something, so that gives them an excuse to get rid of you, or give them an excuse to attack you when they've been attacking you this whole time. It's ridiculous that we have to put up with all this. And then when people finally snap and they go ER, then the world wants to look like, oh, why did that happen? Why did he do that? Oh, you need to control your emotions. Motherfucker, we have been controlling our emotions this whole goddamn entire time. What the fuck you think we've been doing? You know? It's absurd to me that more men are not crashing out. More men are not out there just causing havoc and causing war in the damn streets like it's Stalingrad or the Battle of Leningrad or the Riev's meat grinder. It makes no sense that more men are not out there causing havoc in the world. Do you know how many men go through pain and isolation? And I'm not saying women don't go through pain. Of course, women go through their version of pain, but it's not the same as a fucking man. A woman that's 28 or 35 years old and she still lives at home with her parents, and a man comes and finds that, he's gonna be like, well, shit, hell, I hit the jackpot. That means she's not out there screwing Chad and Tyrone. She probably, she's getting something now. She's still screwing Chad and Tyrone, but maybe the dad's there, and maybe she has to sneak Tyrone and them in or whatever, or sneak out at night. Is this, so maybe she's not getting, that sexual alleviation as frequently as she wants, but she's still getting it frequently. But that's something that, okay, I can work with that. She still lives at home with her parents. I don't give a damn shit. I can get my shit together. She come live with me, But if a woman finds a man that lives at home with his mom or lives at home with his parents, that's unattractive. And then the world makes it more debilitating when they make it so hard to find a job, so hard to keep a good job, and then they pay you pennies on the end. And then even if you have a job, man, you're still under somebody's power. Have you noticed that? Even in religions, even in just everything, there's always something that's above you, always something that's more powerful than you, always something that tells you what to do, but you can't tell yourself what to do. What if I want to fucking be a Starfleet commander? What if I want to be like Alexander the Great, the space version? What if I want to go build a fucking space station on the moon? Or what if I want to build my own fleet and travel beyond the stars? Where's my free will to do that? Where's my free will to be my own God? What if I want to be my own God? Why can I create heavens? Why can I create worlds? Why can I create animals? Why can I create things? Why? Why the fuck not? You got the demiurge, Yaldabaoth. He gets to create hell for us and lose from us. How the fuck can we not be happy? Why? What's the reasoning? What's the fucking reasoning, man? Why can't we ever be in positions of power, wealth, and influence? Why do people like us get mistreated our whole entire lives, but we're not able to actually thrive? Why? What did I do in my life besides being born African American and being a male that made this whole world despise me? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? But having a dream, wanting to make it in music so I can take care of my family. My grandma was alive. Why is that a bad thing that I didn't want to be a wage slave? Because I knew I had something that was greater inside my soul. I knew I could use my music to make myself wealthy where I don't have to bow to nobody ever again. I can make my own independent functionality and actuality and make my own independent business. And that can gain me a lot of money, a lot of success, and have the girls that I really want, have the house that I want, have the car that I want, have the weed every day, have the food every day, and have a good fucking life. Why? Why? Because I wanted to have peace and tranquility in my life. Does God seen that and made my life a living hell? Why? Why is that a bad thing for wanting to be happy in this world? We get punished as neglected men because we want to be happy. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed when you try to be peaceful, you try not to bother nobody, you find your little neat position, like you say you're a neat for a couple of years, or you're a neat. Life has a way of getting you sick. All of a sudden your head starts hurting, your chest starts hurting, your legs start hurting. You're walking up the stairs and hit your knee. Something happens, or your dad gets on your ass about, how come you're not finding the 9 to 5? Blah, 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 blah. Start yelling at you and talking to you and calling you lazy and crazy and all that. Then you're forced out of your little comfort zone into a war zone. You see, as I said in my old videos, beyond the room is doom. The reason why people stay in their room is because beyond the room is doom. That's the truth, you know? And it's just infuriating how this world just breaks you down. It's like this channel was my personal channel to speak my personal thoughts, not for my bitch ass cousin to find out and listen to what I'm saying on here and try to use it against me. Not for fucking trolls to sit here and take notes on what I'm saying and then send my video and send my channels to people in my family. And, it's just what the fuck, you know? These people, make me sick.